Hey guys, it's Charlie here, and in today's video, we'll be talking about S Corps and reasonable salaries. More specifically, how much payroll should you pay yourself as an S Corp owner? Now, obviously, this is a very loaded question. It can get pretty complicated, and I really recommend asking your CPA before you do any of these things. This should not be considered financial advice. These are just my experiences based on the research that I've done. And yes, I have an S Corp. I pay myself a reasonable salary, and it is very, very important that you do so. Obviously, one of the main advantages of having an S Corporation, the big reason why people have an S Corp is to reduce their taxes, right? So you guys already know when you have an S Corporation, you're going to pay yourself a W-2 salary. This is a part of the payroll, and then the rest you're going to take home as distributions. On any W-2 payroll that you pay yourself, you will be subject to that 15.3% self-employment tax, and then on the distributions, you won't have to pay that tax. So obviously, most people think, I don't want to pay any salary to myself. I'd rather take everything as distributions, but unfortunately, you are not allowed to do that. And if you get audited and they see that you didn't take any payroll and instead just took all the money as distributions, they're going to make you reclassify a lot of that distributions as, actual payroll, and you will face some penalties. By the way, if you don't have a CPA yet and you are looking for someone, we'll leave some links down below. These are some of our favorite providers, and they can definitely take care of you on all this stuff. Because once again, before you do anything, make sure to talk to your CPA or tax strategist. I assume most of you guys watching this video already have an S Corporation. If you don't have one yet and you're looking to start one, we do recommend Northwest. It costs $39 plus any state fees, and that exclusive link to that deal is gonna be down below. And don't worry, this is a question that is super common. Everyone that has an S Corp realizes, hey, I don't want to pay myself that much salary. What is the minimum amount that I need to pay myself? So basically, the main rule when it comes to reasonable salary is that the IRS wants you to pay yourself a reasonable salary. This needs to be a reasonable compensation for the services that you do for your business. Basically, this is a minimum threshold, but you can of course pay yourself more than that minimum. Now, is there an actual rule that the IRS gives us in terms of the percentage or the amount? Unfortunately, no. They want us to calculate this on our own. And the reason is because the services that you do for your own business, it's going to vary wildly from business to business, from business owner to business owner. And so having one single rule is not going to make any sense. Some people work less in their business. Some people work a lot more. Some people do tasks that do not cost as much. And some people do tasks that are very specialized and are really expensive. Yeah, for most of you guys watching this, it will likely be that the more payroll you pay, the more in taxes you will pay as well. There are some instances and things to consider where if you actually pay yourself more salary, you'll be able to max out your solo 401k more. There might be some pass-through tax savings as well. So yeah, that's why it's really important to talk to your CPA. Now, for most people watching this video, there are some fake rules floating around, such as, 50-50, you have to pay yourself at least 50% of your company's earnings, or 40%, or 30%, 20%, whatever it is. Basically, the lower you go, the more sort of risky it is. But I will say that for most people, I think 30% should be okay. Now, of course, this varies wildly depending on how much money your business makes, a ton of stuff. The only thing that you cannot pay yourself is going to be 0%, right? So I know there are people out there that just don't pay themselves any payroll. They take everything as distributions, and this is a huge risk for an audit. Plus, you're almost guaranteed to lose. The percentage that I've been told the most is going to be 30-40%. I think that is a pretty safe zone. As a general rule that I can give you guys, the amount that you pay yourself for payroll should be the amount it would cost to hire someone else to do the same exact job that you are doing within your business. When calculating this, don't consider anything that's over 40 hours per week. They don't really care about overtime, but think, what would it cost for a full-time person to do these tasks? Again, this will depend on the duties, the things that you're doing, any specific tasks you're doing, any training or licenses that are required for those jobs, what businesses in similar industries are paying their people, dividend history, how much time you're spending per week. Yeah, it can get really complicated. And this is all based on case law, right? There are no actual rules that are set in place. And yeah, the only thing that we can basically look at is case law. So in cases of other audits, we can see what the outcomes have been and sort of make a judgment based on those cases. So when I said 30-40%, that of course is not an actual rule. It just seems to be that a lot of owners that have S Corps, they pay themselves around that range. The main takeaway that I want to give you guys is that you should not be running these numbers yourself. This is a number that you need to talk about with your CPA or accountant. There definitely is an optimal wage number that you guys can agree on. This is basically going to minimize the amount of payroll taxes that you are paying. It's going to maximize the amount of money you want to put into your retirement accounts. And it's also going to maximize the tax savings for any other tax advantages that are out there. And to actually run payroll, you're going to want to use a payroll software. Don't do this yourself. I recommend you just using Gusto or ADP. I'll have links down below to those. If you do sign up to Gusto, you will get a $100 gift card just for using my link. And it'll also help support the channel with a small referral fee. So thank you so much in advance. So yeah, in summary, let's talk about the sweet spot for reasonable compensation. And this is going to vary depending on your business type, how much money your business made, and a bunch of other factors. The sweet spot is going to be the middle of three different things. First, it's going to be the minimum amount that you want to pay to minimize your payroll taxes. This minimum amount is likely going to be close to the lower threshold of that reasonable compensation. But again, the less W-2 salary you're taking, the less you can put into your retirement accounts. So we're going to also pick a number that basically allows us to maximize how much money we want to put into your solo 401k or whatever other retirement account you're using. And also keep in mind that the more you pay into your payroll, the more social security benefits you'll get in retirement. And fourth is taking advantage of any other miscellaneous tax laws. So right now, for example, QBI is a big one. And these are all things that you and your CPA need to talk about together. So yeah, anyways, hopefully this video was helpful. I know this is a very common question. It's a very hard question to actually answer, but when you consider those four main things we talked about, that's how you basically determine that reasonable compensation sweet spot. Don't get too greedy, guys. The IRS will come after you. Definitely pay yourself some type of payroll. And yeah, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If you guys got any value from this video, please consider giving the video a like and also subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. Every video on this channel is dedicated to helping you with your business. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.